Hi, Scarlet Marvel here. In the last decade, the Guardians of the Galaxy have become household names as Marvel's premier cosmic superhero team, thanks to their prominent appearances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, prior to their first film in 2014, they were actually one of Marvel's most obscure superhero teams. Despite this, they've had a rather long history in the Marvel Universe, spanning two mostly unrelated versions of the team. The original version made its debut in 1969 as the spacefaring heroic team of one of Marvel's possible futures, set in an alternate universe. The modern version, created in 2008, is the more familiar version of the team that inspired the MCU adaptation. This version is the signature cosmic superhero team of the main Marvel universe. With the final film in the Guardians MCU trilogy about to release, it's the perfect time to go over the awesome 54-year history of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, across comics, movies, shows, and more. But before we get started, I want to know who your favorite Guardian is. Let me know in the comments down below. The original Guardians of the Galaxy were created by Arnold Drake, Gene Colan, and Stan Lee, and made their debut in 1969's Marvel Superheroes number 18. The team was introduced as a resistance force of heroes from different planets, coming together to defend the galaxy from the alien Badoon invasion in the far future year of 3006. The initial roster was made up of Major Vance Astro, aka Major Victory, an Earth astronaut from the distant past, Charlie 27, a soldier from Jupiter, Martin X, a scientist from Pluto, and Yondu, a warrior from Centauri 4. Despite a successful debut with strong sales, the team wouldn't appear again for another 5 years. The 1960s also saw the debuts of two core members of the modern Guardians team. Groot, a regenerative tree-like alien, made his debut in 1960's Tales to Astonish number 13, and Adam Warlock, a genetically engineered cosmic sorcerer, made his debut as him in 1967's Fantastic Four number 66 to 67. 5 years after their debut, the original Guardians of the Galaxy returned in 1974's Marvel 2-in-1 number 5, using time travel to team up with The Thing and Captain America in their fight against the Badoon. After this, the team used time travel once more to team up with the Defenders in 1975's Giant-Sized Defenders number 5 and Defenders number 26 to 29, finally defeating the Badoon invasion. At the end of this arc, Stakar Ogord, aka Starhawk, the half-human adventurer from Arcturus 4, joined the original Guardians. From 1976 to 1977, the original Guardians received their first solo series as the featured heroes in Marvel Presents number 3 to 12. During this series, the Guardians explored the cosmos, with Nikki, a weapons expert from Mercury, joining the team, and Starhawk being revealed to share physical space with Alida Ogord, his wife and stepsister, meaning only one could be present at a time. After this series, the original Guardians teamed up with Thor in 1977's Thor Annual number 6 to battle Korvac in their own timeline, before traveling to the mainline Marvel Universe to help the Avengers defeat Korvac, becoming honorary Avengers in the process, in 1978's groundbreaking Korvac saga, taking place in Avengers number 167 to 177. The original Guardians' final appearance of the decade came in 1979's Marvel Team-Up number 86, where the team met and worked alongside Spider-Man. The 1970s greatly expanded Marvel's Cosmic Corner, with Captain Marvel and Nova, franchises closely connected to the modern Guardians team, being established as core parts of Marvel's cosmic side. Adam Warlock, a founding member of the modern Guardians team, also received his own series as a prominent part of Marvel's cosmic comics. Many other core members of the modern Guardians team had their first appearances in this decade. Father-daughter pair, Moondragon and Drax the Destroyer, made their debuts in 1973's Iron Man number 54 and 55. Powerful empath Mantis made her debut in 1973's Avengers number 112. The deadliest woman in the galaxy, Gamora, made her debut in 1975's Strange Tales number 180. An alternate version of Star-Lord, known as the Master of the Sun, made his debut in 1976 Marvel Preview number 4. And Rocket Raccoon, a genetically manipulated weapons specialist, made his debut in 1976's Marvel Preview number 7. The only appearance of the original Guardians in the 1980s came in 1980's Marvel 2-in-1 number 69, where the team worked with the Thing one more time before returning to their universe. After this, the team remained absent from Marvel Comics for nearly a decade, with the exception of a cameo appearance in 1989's Sensational She-Hulk number 6. With regards to the modern Guardians team, most of its eventual roster also remained absent in the 1980s, as Marvel's Cosmic Corner fell into obscurity. Moondragon was a consistent member of the Defenders until that series' cancellation in 1986. Rocket Raccoon received his first 4-issue limited series in 1985, and Nebula, a core member of the MCU's Guardians team, made her debut as a villain in 1985's Avengers number 257. After nearly a decade, the original Guardians of the Galaxy made their grand return in 1990 in their first self-titled comic series. After 62 issues and 4 annuals, their series ended in 1995, making it the longest Guardians of the Galaxy comic series to this day. This series further explored the alternate universe of the original Guardians, with expanded lore that explained possible futures for a variety of Marvel characters and concepts. The team fought against future versions of several well-known Marvel villains, including Korvac, Dormammu, Doctor Doom, Loki, and Mephisto. To combat these threats, several heroes joined the team, including Alita Ogord, Starhawk's wife and stepsister, Replica, a shape-shifting Skrull, Talon, a cat-like Inhuman, the Rita Damara version of Yellowjacket, a reformed villain from the main Marvel Universe, and Hollywood, an aged version of the Avenger Wonder Man. The Guardians also relied on many allies, including Krugar, the Sorcerer Supreme of the time, and the Galactic Guardians, a team created and led by Martin X that included Mainframe, the future version of the android hero Vision, Firelord, a former herald of Galactus, Girod, the mutant host of the Phoenix Force, Wiladus Autolycus, the spirit of vengeance of the time, and Guardians of the Galaxy members Hollywood and Replica. The Galactic Guardians even received their own 4-issue limited series in 1994. An intriguing element of the Guardians of the Galaxy series was the constant struggle between Starhawk and Alita Ogord that began after Starhawk's turn to villainy that lasted through most of the series. Eventually, Alita defeated Starhawk by taking full control of their shared physical space, becoming the new Starhawk in the process. Although, by the end of the series, the two siblings decided to share the Starhawk identity. Due to taking place in the far future, this series also found some interesting ways to use time travel in their stories. On the first occasion, the Guardians traveled to the main Marvel Universe to prevent the Badoon invasion, also partaking in 1992's Infinity War crossover event, by battling the Masters of Evil, before returning to their own time. The Guardians would time travel once more in their final issue, where the team goes to the past to prevent the war between Earth and Mars that decimated the human race. But the team gets lost in time in the process. In 1996's New Warriors number 68, the original Guardians finally return to their time with the help of the New Warriors, led by Justice, the young version of Major Victory in the present time. This marked the final major appearance of the original Guardians of the Galaxy until 2014. The 1990s also featured a major comeback for Marvel's mainline Cosmic Corner, with a large focus on modern Guardians of the Galaxy member Adam Warlock. This cosmic comeback hit its highest point in 1991 with the Infinity Gauntlet crossover event, a storyline that brought together all of Marvel's heroes to save the universe from Thanos and the Infinity Stones, culminating in the villain's defeat at the hands of a team of cosmic heroes led by Adam Warlock. Due to this event's massive success, several comics spun out of it, including Warlock and the Infinity Watch, a series focused on the Infinity Watch, a team created by Adam Warlock, whose roster resembled a prototype version of the modern Guardians of the Galaxy team, due to the inclusion of Moondragon, Gamora, Drax, and Adam Warlock himself, all core members of the modern Guardians. This series lasted 42 issues from 1992 to 1995, and the team also appeared in the 8-issue Warlock Chronicles series from 1993 to 1994. The team even played important roles in 1992's Infinity War and 1993's Infinity Crusade, crossover event sequels to Infinity Gauntlet that focused on expanding the lore of Adam Warlock. After the team disbanded in 1995, the eventual Modern Guardians members continued to appear in supporting roles in other heroes' comics, but would not return to the spotlight for quite some time. Despite this, Drax, Gamora, Adam Warlock, and Nebula all made their television debuts in the 1998 Silver Surfer animated series. By the early 2000s, Marvel's Cosmic Corner had returned to obscurity, as few cosmic-centered comics were in production, with the exception of a couple small cosmic events and a Captain Marvel comic that, in 2004's Captain Marvel number 16, introduced Phyla-Vell, the artificially created daughter of the original Captain Marvel, and a core member of the modern Guardians team. In 2003 and 2005 respectively, the first solo series for Thanos and modern Guardians member Drax the Destroyer were released, setting the stage for a massive shift in Marvel's cosmic comics. Additionally, the mainline Marvel Universe version of Star-Lord, another core member of the modern Guardians team, made his debut in 2004's Thanos number 8. In 2006, Marvel's Cosmic Corner was revitalized with the groundbreaking Annihilation crossover event, where Nova united practically every cosmic superhero to stop Annihilus from taking over the universe. This storyline was followed up by the 2007 to 2008 Annihilation Conquest crossover event, where many of the same cosmic heroes reunited to stop Ultron from taking over the universe. This event featured 4-issue limited series for Modern Guardians members Star-Lord and Phyla-Vell as Quasar. At the end of this storyline, Star-Lord approached several of the cosmic heroes who fought in the Annihilation events, proposing that they remain united as a team in order to prevent future threats to the universe. As such, the modern version of the Guardians of the Galaxy was born, with an initial roster of Adam Warlock, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, Phyla-Vell, Rocket Raccoon, and Star-Lord as team leader. The team made their first official appearance in the first issue of their own self-titled series in 2008, written by the team's creators, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. From the first issue, Groot, Mantis, and Cosmo the telepathic space dog appeared in supporting roles, before soon joining the team themselves. On the team's first mission, they encountered the time-displaced Major Victory, a member of the original Guardians, who introduced himself as part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This inspired Star-Lord's team to adopt the name for themselves, forever connecting the two space teams from different times. Within this series, the modern Guardians would occasionally interact with an alternate version of the original Guardians, who traveled back in time to prevent a future cataclysmic event. After participating in 2008's Secret Invasion crossover event, the modern Guardians disbanded, upon discovering that Star-Lord used Mantis's telepathy to convince each member to join. But Rocket kept the team alive with Mantis, Groot, and new members Major Victory and Bug, a warrior from the microverse. After some time apart, the team reunited with new members Moondragon and Jack Flag, a hero from Earth, just in time to take part in 2009's War of Kings crossover event, where the team found themselves in the middle of a war between the alien Kree and Shi'ar empires. This storyline led directly into 2010's Realm of Kings crossover event, where a dimensional rift connected the main Marvel universe to the Cancerverse, a dark dimension where death did not exist. During this story, the Guardians faced off against Adam Warlock's evil half, the Magus, causing Phyla-Vell to accidentally release Thanos. The Guardians were able to capture Thanos, but Phyla-Vell died in the process. This happened in 2010's Guardians of the Galaxy number 25, marking the end of the Modern Guardians' first comic series. By the 2010s, the Guardians of the Galaxy had been around for over 40 years, but the team remained quite obscure. All this was about to change as the 2010s saw the Guardians become one of Marvel's most recognizable superhero teams. Early on in the decade, the Modern Guardians took part in the 2010 to 2011 Thanos Imperative storyline, where a group of cosmic heroes teamed up with Thanos to take down the Cancerverse, in an epic conclusion to the cosmic events that began with the Annihilation crossover. At the end of this story, Nova, Star-Lord, and Thanos remained trapped in the Cancerverse as it collapsed, with the Guardians disbanding as a result. However, Cosmo kept the Guardians' mission alive by creating the Annihilators, a team of powerful cosmic heroes that included former Herald of Galactus, Silver Surfer, Kree Accuser, Ronan, human owner of the Quantum Bands, Quasar, Corbinite, Beta Ray Bill, Shi'ar, Gladiator, Space Knight, Icon, and Cosmo himself. In 2011, this team featured in two self-titled 4-issue series. In 2012, the Modern Guardians of the Galaxy made their animated debut in Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, with a roster made up of Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Phyla-Vell, and Adam Warlock. In the same year, the Modern Guardians returned to comics in Avengers Assemble number 4-8, where the team worked with the Avengers to capture the also returned Thanos. At the end of this story, Iron Man joined the Guardians, just in time for the team's second self-titled series that began in 2013. Early in this series, the team battled against the Badoon, Star-Lord's father, King Jason of Spartax, and Thanos' army during 2013's Infinity crossover event. With new team member, Angela, the long-lost sister of Thor. The Guardians then participated in 2014's Trial of Jean Grey crossover event, alongside Kitty Pryde and the time-displaced original X-Men, ultimately saving the young Jean Grey from the Shi'ar Empire. After this, the Guardians were joined by new members, Flash Thompson as Agent Venom, and Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. The series then tied into 2014's Original Sin crossover event with the revelation that Star-Lord and Thanos had escaped the Cancerverse through Nova's sacrifice. After Original Sin, the Guardians explored the origins of the Venom symbiote before taking part in 2015's Black Vortex crossover event. During this storyline, Star-Lord was elected President of Spartax, causing his father, Jason, to seek out the Black Vortex, an item that empowers and corrupts those who submit to it. Together, the Guardians and X-Men were able to defeat Jason, but some heroes were temporarily corrupted in the process. At the end of this story, Star-Lord proposed to his long-distance girlfriend, Kitty Pryde, causing her to stay in space with the Guardians. The series then ended in 2015 with issue number 27. Before continuing with the team's comic history, let's take a break to talk about the 10th movie in the MCU, 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, which marked the team's cinematic debut with a roster made of Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot. This critically acclaimed and commercially successful film, directed by James Gunn, catapulted the cosmic team into the mainstream and reinvented them as a comedic found family, a change that followed the team into their comic stories as well. The team's cinematic success drastically increased their presence in comics, with 4 spin-off comics being released as a result. This included solo series for Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon that were released in 2014, lasting 12 and 11 issues respectively. In 2015, a 10-issue Guardians team-up series was also released, detailing team-up adventures between Guardians and heroes from throughout the Marvel Universe. Lastly, the original Guardians made their grand return in 2014's 8-issue Guardians 3000 series, where human Gina Drake joined the team to help prevent the end of existence. The original Guardians traveled back in time to warn the modern Guardians of the impending doom, but neither team was able to stop the apocalyptic event, resulting in the end of the multiverse. This led directly into 2015's Secret Wars, a crossover event that rebooted the entire Marvel Comics universe, with both Guardians teams having 4-issue series as part of the event. The modern team starred in Guardians of Nowhere, and an alternate version of the original team starred in Korvac's Saga. Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde also had their own self-titled 4-issue series as part of the event. 2015 also featured a 6-issue Groot series, unrelated to the Secret Wars event. In 2015, the Guardians of the Galaxy also received their own animated series, heavily inspired by their 2014 movie, complete with the same team roster. This show lasted 3 seasons until 2019, with the team making guest appearances in other Marvel cartoons of the era. After the Secret Wars event, the Guardians returned with several comics, including series for Star-Lord, Drax, and the duo of Rocket and Groot, that released in 2016, with 8, 11, and 10 issues respectively. The 8-issue Guardians of Infinity series also released in 2016, with both versions of the Guardians appearing alongside a new version of the team from the year 1016. This series marked the final appearance of the original Guardians to this day. Aside from these spin-off comics, the new main series for the modern Guardians team released in 2015, with new members, Kitty Pryde as Star-Lord, and the Thing of the Fantastic Four. The Guardians battled Kree Accuser Hala, Annihilus, the Brood Queen, and the Brotherhood of the Badoon, before being summoned by Captain Marvel to take part in 2016's Civil War II crossover event. The Guardians initially supported Captain Marvel's side of the conflict, but after Gamora discovered that Captain Marvel and Star-Lord hid the fact that Thanos was being held on Earth, the team split apart. Since their ship was destroyed, the now individual Guardians remained on Earth in 2017's Grounded event, with Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon receiving their own series as part of the event, with 6 and 5 issues respectively. This event and comic series ended with issue number 19, where all the Guardians briefly reunited to take down Thanos, before the 5 core Guardians finally returned to space. Also in 2017, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the sequel to the 2014 MCU film, was released, with new members Mantis, Yondu, and Nebula, although Yondu died during the final battle. The original Guardians made their cinematic debut in this movie as Yondu's original Ravagers team, with a roster of Stakar and Alita Ogord, Martinex, Charlie 27, Mainframe, and Krugar. Like the first film, this sequel received critical and commercial success, with Marvel taking advantage of this by releasing several spin-off comics to coincide with the movie. This included solo series for Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot that were released in 2017, with 5, 6, and 5 issues respectively. A 5-issue series titled Guardians of the Galaxy Mother Entropy also released in 2017. That same year, the next main series for the Guardians was released, titled All New Guardians of the Galaxy. During this series, Groot became trapped in his baby form, Drax became a pacifist, and Gamora became obsessed with finding the Soul Stone to restore a missing piece of her soul. Throughout the series, the team battled the Collector and the Grandmaster, and in the 12th and final issue, the Guardians visited Earth in search of the Infinity Stones, with the Scott Lang version of Ant-Man joining the team as a new member. In 2018, the series continued with legacy numbering, starting with Guardians of the Galaxy number 146 and ending with number 150. In these 5 issues, the Guardians joined the Nova Corps in order to find the corruption within, while also continuing their search for the Infinity Stones. The team next appeared in 2018's Infinity Countdown crossover event, where Gamora left the team in pursuit of the Infinity Stones, after the stones re-emerged across the Marvel Universe. This storyline also introduced alternate reality versions of Phyla-Vell and Moondragon, who remained trapped in the main Marvel Universe. This event was followed up by 2018's Infinity Wars crossover event, where Gamora became the villain Requiem, as she stole the 6 Infinity Stones and bent the Marvel Universe in half, trapping the combined forms of Marvel's heroes within the Soul Stone. At the end of this event, Drax sacrificed himself to save the heroes, allowing them all to exit the Soul Stone, while Gamora was sent away to seek redemption. This event coincided with 2018's Avengers Infinity War, the first part of the 2-part conclusion to the MCU's Infinity Saga. The Guardians played a key role in this movie, with Thanos sacrificing Gamora in order to get the Soul Stone, and the rest of the team, except Rocket and Nebula, died when Thanos used the full set of Infinity Stones to snap away half of all life. The 2 surviving Guardians joined the Avengers in order to undo the effects of Thanos' snap in 2019's Avengers Endgame, the second part of the Infinity Saga's conclusion. At the end of the film, the deceased Guardians returned, even including Gamora, who returned as a time-displaced version of herself from before the first Guardians film. Ultimately, the Guardians went back to space, with Thor joining as their newest member. Upon joining, Thor declared the team the Asgardians of the Galaxy, which is a reference to the 10-issue spin-off comic of the same name from 2018 to 2019 that featured a team roster of Asgardians: Angela, Valkyrie, Thunderstrike, Throg, Executioner, and Kid Loki as the Destroyer. In 2019, the modern Guardians of the Galaxy returned in a self-titled series that served as a reboot for the team, with a roster made up of Star-Lord, Groot, the alternate reality versions of Phyla-Vell and Moondragon, Beta Ray Bill, and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Star Fox, the brother of Thanos, formed his own team, the Dark Guardians, with the mission of eliminating Gamora in case Thanos used her as his vessel for resurrection. This team was made up of Nebula, Gladiator, Wraith, Star Fox himself, and Cosmic Ghost Rider, who switched teams after Star-Lord protected Gamora. The 2 teams, plus Gamora, joined forces to kill Star Fox when it was discovered that he was Thanos' true vessel. After this, the combined Guardians roster, along with Rocket Raccoon and a clone of Drax, defeated Jae-Sun and his Universal Church of Truth in the series' 12th and final issue in 2020. In 2020, Nebula received a 2-issue solo series, and the modern Guardians of the Galaxy received their next self-titled series, where the team initially split in 2 after Star-Lord seemed to die in battle against the Olympian gods. Early in the series, Nova, the enhanced Kree hero Marvel Boy, and the Olympian Prince of Power Hercules joined the Guardians as new members. After a confrontation between the split Guardians teams, the full team reunited to take on Null as part of 2021's King in Black crossover event, with Star-Lord returning with new sun powers after living in another dimension for over 100 years. The Guardians then battled the Olympian gods once more, with the team's victory providing them with the Galactic Council's support, allowing the team to expand more than ever before. New members clerked the Super Skrull, the 2 Quasars, Emperor Hulkling of the Kree-Skrull Alliance, his sorcerer husband, Wiccan, and even Dr. Doom joined the team in order to defeat the combined threat of Dormammu and the possessed Ego the Living Planet, as part of 2021's The Last Annihilation crossover event. Then, in 2021's Guardians of the Galaxy number 18, the last issue of the series, the team was finally able to enjoy a vacation together. Also in 2021, the Guardians of the Galaxy appeared as the Stars in a self-titled single-player video game, with Star-Lord as the main playable character. In 2022, the Guardians had few comic appearances, mainly appearing in the background of others' comics. But this year did bring 3 appearances of the Guardians in the MCU. First, the team appeared in a small supporting role in Thor: Love and Thunder, with Kraglin confirmed to be part of the team, and Thor leaving the team early on in the movie. Next, Baby Groot starred in the I Am Groot series of animated shorts on Disney+. Lastly, the team's biggest appearance came in the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, the MCU's second Disney Plus special presentation that introduced Cosmo the Space Dog as a new member and revealed that Mantis and Star-Lord are siblings. Now we've reached the current year of 2023, with the Guardians making their Marvel Comics comeback through a brand new self-titled series that added new member Nebula, and deals with the mysterious, universe-threatening Grootfall, with Groot also receiving his own solo series. Additionally, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is just about to hit theaters as the final film in the MCU's Guardians trilogy, with the movie confirmed to focus on the origin of Rocket, while also featuring the cinematic debut of Adam Warlock. Through their awesome 54-year history, the Guardians of the Galaxy have truly earned their place as one of Marvel's most influential and recognizable superhero teams. The original team cleverly explored the future of the Marvel Universe, introducing Marvel fans to a familiar but entirely unique reality. The modern team reinvented and revitalized Marvel's mainline cosmic corner, and provide the MCU with an always entertaining and deeply relatable found family to root for. Each version of the Guardians has carved out its own niche, and I can't imagine Marvel without them. With all that being said, I hope the Guardians of the Galaxy continue to live on for many years to come as a core part of the Marvel Universe, and I can't wait to partake in all their future stories across comics, movies, shows, and more, beginning with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'm so excited to watch when it releases very soon. So thank you for joining me for the history of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope you had fun and learned something new. I know I had a lot of fun researching it and putting this video together, and I learned quite a bit about the Guardians, even though I've read quite a few of their stories already. Anyways, if you enjoyed this type of video, check out the other history videos I've done, which are up here, and otherwise check out any of the other marvelous videos up on this channel already. I hope you all have an amazing day, and thank you for joining me. Bye!